Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Abide in your pure silence. You are nothing but silence. And this silence is not the silence of a speech. It is the background silence from which all the thoughts arise. Always pay attention to this substrata, this background, this screen, this perceiver, observer, the pure witness. This is self, this is you, and this is all what you're looking for. There is nothing beyond it. Even if at this stage it's very hard for you to convince your mind and intellect that you're not the body, you're not the mind. Even if you think it's a weird idea, it is my humble request that make it as your own truth. How fake it looks right now. You're not the body, you're not the mind, you're not the intellect, you're not the ego. Even if you don't feel like that at this moment, have faith on these words, on this statement. It's not because I am saying it, because everyone who has realized pure awareness has realized this truth. All the scriptures, books written by all these sages and saints says the same thing. And let's say you don't believe any of these people, any of the teachings. One thing you know, that when person is dead, there is a dead body, but something has left. I think that can convince you that you're not the body, at least, if you're not convinced about the mind. So at least in one thing, all of us are convinced that we are not the body. If someone has doubt, I can talk to them. Then comes the second obstacle, that we are the mind. Now, to understand this, just take up one concept, that anything which comes and goes can't be you. Because whatever you are, body, mind, intellect, ego, soul, awareness, God, consciousness, whatever, this whatever you are always knows what is happening. But mind is not there all the time. What we call as mind is thoughts. In deep sleep, where are thoughts? But there is someone who recognizes that he was in sleep and had some blissful experience of that sleep. And if you are not mind, then why do you mind your mind? Likes, dislikes, it takes you into a story, from the past, and then it tells you this is a relationship, this is happening this way, that way, so many ifs and buts. And what purpose mind serves? It serves this body. Now, this is very clear that you know that you are not this body. At least you have seen dead bodies, isn't it? So you know you are no body. Somehow you are associated with this, but you are not this, and you will be there after this body is dead. Have firm conviction in this. Then all your rights to serve this body should drop, isn't it? How long you can fight for your rights for this body? Maximum 100 years. And then who will take care of this body? It will be dust. Definitely, without any exception, everyone's body turns into dust. And we give our life to this dust. Such a simple understanding. It is such a simple understanding. If it comes to you, you are free right now. You don't have to meditate or do yoga or stand on one leg. Nothing doing. We all know that we are not the body. And from morning till night, we are running like mad person to serve this body. What else are we doing? What are the sense organs? Are this body's sense organs? This mouth is taste, running for taste, running to listen to nice music through these ears, running to watch some theater performance, movies, meeting people, touch, sex. What is this all about? This sense organs of this body. How long can you keep enjoying through this body? Look, I'm not against all this enjoyment. Don't take me wrong. But running after this because you think you are this body, and one of those sense organs, when they are deficient, and then then getting depressed that I can't enjoy because my leg is broken. Now I can't go to movies or I can't play golf. What is this drama? Because of attachment to the body, not attachment to the body, because we think we are this body. This is the biggest fallacy. This is the biggest illusion. People are dying every day, every second around us. We see in the news, we hear from people, we all have come across our relatives or our family members dying or dead. And still we think we will be alive. And we think we are this body. Unless this attachment to the body goes away completely, you can never be free. Because this is the only cage, this is the only jail, that we think we are this body. And then one wrong notion, and then everything is wrong in our life. So just remember that you are not this body. How do you remember this? That is a question. How do you remember that you are not this body? Maybe you should picture yourself as a dead body, or maybe remember that someone has died. Where is that person? Without the body, that person is still there, isn't it? Because I think most of the religions, I think all of the religions believe after death that there's something is left. That's why we say RIP, isn't it? And then what is mind? Mind is again body. But for a person who is not coming from all those concepts, it is one of the sheets. But let's say it is separate. Let's say it serves body, but then it is serving body, and sometimes it's not serving. And when it is not serving, when it is not there in deep sleep, then who is serving this body? And then who in you know that the mind was not there? So there is some power, something in you which knows that the mind was not there. So in deep sleep, mind is not there. And some people are very intelligent, very sharp, they can remember everything. And then they say, oh look, I think my memory is not that good. I see patients all the time. They say, look, I'm a senior executive and my memory is not that good. Or so someone knows that the memory is not good. Who is that? That is beyond memory. Or sometimes, if there is something at work which you can't understand, you think, oh, my intellect is not catching up, I can't understand, my buddhi doesn't know. So my buddhi, so buddhi, intellect, which is trying to understand, there's something beyond that, which is, I believe, something which knows that the intellect is not understanding, that must be much, much higher, isn't it? Something which is watching, for which the buddhi is nothing like a piece, a small, some sort of a gadget. And we speak that language all the time. We know that my memory is not good, I can't understand these things. Oh look, I think I'm dumb, I don't understand these simple concepts. Who is that who talks like this for intellect? And we say this like, my mind is so disturbed today, I can't focus on anything, I'm unhappy, and who is talking like this? Who knows that the mind is disturbing me? And then one knows that there is something which is knowing that mind is disturbing this me, and something is watching that me. So who is this middleman who comes, who says, oh, I'm not happy, I'm so bored, so loneliness in these COVID times, I'm so unhappy, I can't go out. Who is feeling all this suffering, and who is so miserable? Who is that? Who thinks he is the mind and body, and who is that? Fake. The first thing is, you're not the body. The second thing is, you're not the mind. And then if you're not mind and body, then who's the middleman who always complains, who always says likes and dislikes? I like samosa, I don't like gulab jamun. Who is always complaining about things, small things, big things? He always has a choice. Who's always unhappy, even not saying, but is still, who wants things in a way. It's like the God has created the whole universe, and then there's a devil in us which says, oh look, I don't think this is right, I could have done a better job. Who is this who is always unhappy? Don't look for an answer, look within. And the moment you look within, it will just blast off, because it's all fake drama. Look, we are all brainwashed by society, by culture, by education, by parents. All this big drama, we have been given a name. And then we follow it because whole world is following the same illusion. We are all under the spell. Like, there are magicians, they just cast a spell on everyone and everyone sees the same thing. And actually there's nothing there. So this Maya has created a big spell illusion. And everyone is following the same illusion. And you feel part of this and you think, oh, it's okay, everyone is the same. But everyone is fool. But you can get out if you just think even for a second about it. You are not the body, never even for a second. And you are not the mind. You are not the intellect. If you are none of these things, then where is the ownership comes from? Who owns it? Ego. What is this ego? This E should go. It should evaporate. E to evaporate. It should go. It is fake. Just one wrong concept and the whole life we have destroyed. I'll tell you that the day ego goes, you are free. You should jump naked in your room because there's nothing, no baggage on your head to carry. To do this, to do that, and I am this, I will be this, and I will become this, and I will do it, and I will prove it. All this crap. If you are the king, you are the owner of everything. You are that infinite awareness pervading everywhere. And you are that unitary consciousness. Then whom do you want to prove? Or who is different? And this is the reason these sages, realized soul, who have no money, who have no clothes on their body, they have a hearty laugh and they are free and they are kings. And we who have income protection, insurance, life insurance, and this insurance, and money and properties, we are always fearful because we work like a condensed consciousness in this small frame, 5 feet, 6 feet frame. Because we have taken ownership of it. God has sent us with this beautiful vehicle known as body to enjoy and to remember Him, to remember not Him, to remember you as Him. And we came and we started thinking that we are car. And now we are not ready to leave this car. And any day, anyone's car's battery dies off, we feel so sorrow for that person. We say, oh, iski atma ko shanti do, no, rest in peace. And we say, oh, and then we went to their house, condolence meetings, I think that is the day to celebrate that he's free. If he really wanted to be free, that is the other thing. If he still wanted, he was thinking he was this car whose battery has died down, then he will be given another car by God, because he's so merciful. He will say he was crying during his death, why you're taking. So he will give him a brand new car again. And all in millions of years, he will think he's a car. But the moment you want to step out of this vehicle, even sitting in car, you can know that you're not car, isn't it? So you can be Jivan Mukt even in this body. You don't have to leave this body. I know a lot of people think that at the last moment, if they take the name of God, they will be free. What a stupid idea, If you can't remember God right now, how can you remember at the end? You don't even know when the end is coming. Do you know when you were born? How do you know? You don't even know when you sleep. The sleep just comes. and you don't know when the deep sleep comes. You have no control. How can you say that at the end of your life you will do this? Some people think it's a job for a very elderly person. When you are in your 80s, then you should think about God and all. I see people dying young. And do you think all old people will get wisdom and they get enlightened? Have you seen this happening? Does it comes in news that as soon as you turn 80, you get self-realized soul, and you get a list in newspaper? This is so easy. It is the easiest and simplest thing. Okay, let's say if you understand what I'm talking to you, I will show you another way by which you can see this body mind complex. We are made up of two things. One is God, consciousness, and the second is this body mind complex. God is the principal consciousness which is eternal, ever fresh, ever young, never dying, always bliss, happy, joyful. And the second is transient, destructible, full of suffering, misery, ego, clash, all wrong tendencies, and which has to die. Now, out of these two choices ours, which one we want to choose? Okay, we all want to choose body mind. Okay, and how to choose body mind? By desires, and having more desires, more money, more sex, more name, more fame, more butter chicken, more new dishes, bigger houses, whatever desires, and keep fulfilling those. And then what will happen? Have you seen any one person in the world whom you can say he said, I did this and I did this and I did this, and I don't have any desire left? Have you seen anyone who is playing with fire, who is looking for desires and has been fulfilled? Just one example in the world. Then we will all go on that path. I will go with you to fulfill all the desires with full vigor, night and day. Just one. So in this path of body-mind complex, the desires give rise to more desires and more. It's like putting, oil in fire, petrol in fire. Never ends. Never say you will be wrecked. You will become a drug addict, or sex addict, or money addict, or power addict. All these foolish people around us, we see all of them, hungry for power, hungry for money all the time. And they are not millionaires, they're billionaires. From 5 billion, they want to make 50 billion now. So, okay, so this is one thing. So desires never finish, no end to it, and causes a lot of misery and suffering. Do you think to earn money is an easy thing? You have to open businesses, there are failures, and it's a lot of struggle. And then the most important thing comes. This whole game will end with death of the body. I think I'm showing a rude finger, but maybe that's what it is, This is the most rude part of us, this mind-body complex. And this mind-body complex will drop. It is transient, it is just momentary. Maximum 100 years, you can say, maybe 120 if you are very lucky. So all that what you have done, acquired, drops. Okay? Look, we are very wise, we are very smart people. Let's try to look which path we want to go. So this path, misery, suffering, transient, whatever you do, it will end. Whether you become Alexander the Great or idiot or whatever, doesn't matter. Now comes the second path, consciousness, awareness, God. Okay, on this path, you have intense desire to be that. Now what will happen? Tell me. You will get bliss, peace, joy. You will have suffering also, pain of separation until you reach there. And that pain, that viraha, that separation, that also purifies you. So, this suffering also gives you love. This suffering gives you purity. This suffering burns away all which you are not. And that suffering, which is such a pure suffering, will take you there to that eternal mode. And this will never end. This will never decay. And this will give you all the qualities of that absolute God. You will become that. And you will have the real knowledge, complete knowledge. And you will be contented and happy, and you will be eternal. So if you run after the body mind, then millions and millions of birth, and the cycle keeps going, birth and death, birth and death. You will be a decaying object. You will be an object. If you go behind this, you are free. And once this knowledge comes, and let's say the cycle wants you to have another birth. Let's say God decides, bloody whatever, he knows, but I want to give. It will be blissful birth, because you know that you are not this body mind. You will enjoy. You know, the person who enjoys most this word is the person who knows he's not body mind, because he is free. He is the free soul. He is fearless, and he is not doing anything for the body mind. Because when you know that you are not this, why would you are concerned about anything? You don't want to make it last longer or less. You will never mistreat it, but you will not be for it all the time. And when you detach from it, that awareness within you is that all pervading. That is all, it just comes. But let's just talk about our own awareness within us. Because this awareness is not in the body. It's not outside the body. It is inside and outside and everywhere and everything. Not only animate, or it's everything. It's just that screen, that awareness. And that's what you are. We all are. Even just simple thing on which, if you make it your own truth, that you're not the body mind, and keep remembering this all the time, because that's the truth. Give me one example why you can't believe that. If you have doubts, we can discuss right now. If you have any doubts about this thing, what I'm saying, we can discuss it.
It seems, Sanjay, that believing is not enough. It's not the belief. I don't think I lack the belief that I'm not the body. But
this but is your mind. That is what I'm saying. This is the trick of the mind.
If I convince myself, what do you mean? Dissociate yourself with the actions that you do?
If you are 100% believe that you are not body mind, you are free right now. Then there's no but left. There's no but left. Wholeheartedly, with 100% conviction, never ever think you are body mind.
And when you say 100% conviction, what do I have to do for that?
Nothing.
I still have to do what I
do. You have nothing to do. Just you are 100% conviction all the time that you are not the body mind.
So would it be helpful if I keep repeating to myself that I am not the body?
Let's say your name is Ruchi. Do you have to keep repeating yourself that I'm not Ruchi, I'm Ruchi, I'm Ruchi, I'm Ruchi? Do you do that? No. You tell me. So that itself proves that your mind is not convinced. That's why this question, this doubt is coming to you. These are all tricks of the mind. You should understand where the tricks of the mind lies. This is the thing. It always tells you, oh no, but and if, and no, I'm this, but should I repeat? Because even when I'm talking to you, you're listening from your mind, and your mind is giving the answer. You are not listening from that awareness. Otherwise, the game is sorted out right away, right now. I am talking to you using the language through mind, but from the pure awareness. But you are not listening from pure awareness. You are listening from the mind, and the mind is answering, and mind has taken up a leadership role. And it's saying, no, but should we repeat? And this all ifs and buts and doubts, this is all mind. For awareness, there is only one language of awareness, and that is silence. As soon as it goes into your heart, what I'm saying, you will be silent eternally, without even one single question and doubt. This is the only difference between a realized person and a non-realized. Till you are non-realized, how advanced seeker you are, there will always be a doubt, because the mind is the gatekeeper. If you drop your mind and listen from your heart as awareness, no question is left. Questions are only from mind. Awareness is always the same. Every satsang we start from stay in your silence, because I don't think there's anything else I can say. It's not that I have learned this, it is this only. There is nothing else to say. How can I show you awareness? Can you see your awareness?
Experience it.
No, that is mind only. Mind experiences. Can sugar taste sugar? All your talk is coming from the mind. Can sugar taste sugar?
No. It is.
The knife which cuts all the vegetables, can it cut itself?
No.
Then how can awareness can experience itself? Can be an experience. You're talking from the mind. Mind knows only experiences, emotions and love and all. You are awareness. Awareness is not an experience. Experience comes and goes. Because you have never used the faculty of awareness to understand things in your life since you are born, since you remember. So that's why you can't transcend this mind. And this is the blockage. So when I'm talking to you, you are not talking to me. It is your mind talking to me. If you drop your mind right now, you are free. Because you have given so much of power to the mind. You have made it your advocate. And then you have made advocate to the person who is the thief, who is the culprit, who is the devil. Until you take him as the main protector, this game is never going to end. This is not something to tease apart or analyze or interpret or think on it or brood upon it. No one. Mind can never reach there. Mind has no clue. Mind takes everything as an experience. And you are beyond mind. Mind is your mind and my mind or another person's mind is completely different, isn't it? The thoughts, what you get, thoughts I get, we can check, we can share right now, every one of us, what thoughts you are getting, what I'm getting, what the third person, what 10 people, everyone's thoughts are different. That is such a small gadget which each of us has been given, and we have used it so much that it has caused a disturbance all the time. If you can stop it for 1 second, you will be free right now. You need just opening, not even a second, quarter of a second opening, and you can see the truth. Because truth is always there. Sun is shining in its full glow with full grace, but you have covered yourself in this mind with complete darkness around you. Just make a hole in this mind. Give this silence a chance to just watch. Let mind stop for a second, quarter of a second, and the truth is there. Truth is there all the time. Not right now, eternally. Whether you understand it or not, truth is not in a hurry to make you understand. Truth is always waiting for you. But as I said to you, this vehicle was given to you to use, but we have misused, we have overused, we have abused, and now we are in a trap.
So
And
experience is not awareness. Mind is obviously not awareness. Then what am I doing?
I think the example of that screen is a better example. You know, you're just that white screen. That doesn't experience anything. I mean, I'm talking from an intellectual perspective. I have not listening to Sanjay ji as he's saying from the mind. Sorry, from awareness. I'm still using my mind. But I think that example of just the white screen, that white screen doesn't have a mind. You know, there's nothing experiencing. White screen is not experiencing anything. Yes?
just watch. Just be attentive and watch in this silence. Without any question. Even the questions arising, just watch these questions. Watch without a mask. Drop all your weapons, all your artillery, your ego, your mind, your intellect. These things will never take you there. Be there from where you can watch all these questions and doubts. Have a space between all these questions and where you are. But the most important question is who you are. The one who is having doubts, do you think that is awareness? Do you think has no clue what awareness is? And always remember, the one who is having a doubt can never reach there. And the one who is there has no doubts. So tell me, who are you? Who is the witness here? Who is the observer? The observer who is not involved even in this satsang in you. Can you vouch for something in you which is not involved in any of this and is just an observer? Can you talk on its behalf? Who is the most innocent? Who is not involved in this game at all? Something which knows but don't open mouth. The one which watches this body, this mind, this intellect, this ego, but doesn't say a word. One which never acts. The one which never takes proud or guilt of anything. Can you feel the presence? Can you feel your own presence, which is attributeless? Which you can say or realize that will stay even when everything is destroyed. Can you stand with that truth? See how far you can go. There is something in you for which you don't have to use your mind. Which is always the same. Which is never getting affected by the modes of mind. And again, you can tap into it and be only in silence. So let's try to finish off all the doubts and questions, whatever comes to the mind. Because till there is a doubt, you can never reach that. And you can never understand with the mind. Never try to attempt to find this with your mind. Mind has no clue. As if you are asking your laptop to find who you are or your mobile phone. It has no capacity to do that. The transient in you cannot find eternal. As I said in the first part, that you are made up of transient stuff and eternal stuff. And to know eternal, abide in eternal, put all your energy in eternal, this pure self, not in thoughts, not in intellect, not in ego, not in body. You analyze your day, write a diary, write a journal, that since morning, how do you talk? Do you talk like awareness or do you talk like mind? Or do you talk like body or do you talk like awareness? Do you talk like ego or do you talk like awareness? Do you feel like emotions or you feel like awareness? Make a list. And then we think we sit in satsang and then we'll become awareness. You can become what you are putting attention to in 24 hours. If you are putting attention 23 hours to the mind body complex, how can you be awareness? You are in a big trap. And the biggest problem with the ego is it thinks that if I don't act, the work is not going to happen, because we have 0% faith in God. God and ego are exactly opposite. More you have faith in God, less you have ego. Less faith in God, you have more ego. Because we stay on the driving seat. We think if I can't do it, if I don't go in the morning, if I don't do my work, how this work would be done. This is what the ego talks, mind talks. And you know how awareness talks for the same reason. Keep quiet. Awareness has no clue how the day will unfold. It only goes in 100% faith. Awareness never claims anything. Not next minute whether this body will be alive. But the ego makes a 5-year plan and a 10-year plan. This year 1 million, next year I'll earn 2 million. Only ego can make plans. Awareness will stay the same. Awareness, nothingness, emptiness. What planning? Where it is going? And that is surrender to that awareness, surrender to God. Basically, I'll tell you, all the techniques to know your true self are the techniques to become that God, to behave like God, to behave like awareness. You know what happens when in devotional path, when you are bhakt, when you are devotee to God, you inculcate the same habits as that God, whatever your God is, whatever the form or habits, and you exactly become like that. And then that's the union. Then that, because ego has already dropped, because you have surrendered and you just become that path of devotion. And what jnana does, jnana tells you the same thing in a different way. Jnana starts where you have to finish. Knowledge. And this is the purest knowledge, that you are pure awareness. You have nothing to do with this body, mind, intellect, ego. And when you are not that, then why do you think like that? Just stay empty. Let questions come, let doubts come, let your mind shout, say that this is all rubbish. Have faith in this pure awareness, stay as awareness. Because we have lived with this mind all the time, it will have a withdrawal effect. It can create havoc, but you will win. Truth always wins. Whatever the mind is will do. Let it come with force, let it come with vengeance. Take it as a big dark cloud, and it is moving. It looks like it's not moving, but it's moving. Okay, see your own life. Sometime in your life there must be issues in which you were very emotional. Something was like I might just kill myself, or might run away, or this situation is so bad. And what has happened? Now you're again in that blissful and contented mood. You're much better than what you were when those emotions were very high. You know your mind, it never stays the same. So why to be attached to it then? Why don't we just drop it completely and stay as just empty, nothing? Why you want to worry about your bread? That too when you're living in Australia where no one is dying of hunger. What else do you want? What do you want to achieve? Why don't you just give up? Let go. Why don't you just surrender today? Surrender to whatever power you call it, Jesus, Krishna, Rama, or formless awareness, or whatever. We all had enough in our life. Let's just let go. Things come to us, things don't come to us. And who are we who are worried? When we have talked about that we are not the body mind, then what else we are? The one who advocates for the mind and body is the mind and body only. It is only the component of the mind which comes as an ego and takes care of the body and have doubts and questions and wants to live. This middleman is not there. It's completely fake idea. It's a concept on which we spend whole life, that I am this body and I have to achieve and I have to do and I look different and others are different. And then this game never ends. It's a never ending game if you believe you're this body mind. You already had millions of body minds in the past and you will continue with this. But if you want to leave, come out of this game, pay attention to that what you are. Don't be advocate of this body mind. Just be nothing, be empty, be pure, be holy. Don't be part of anything. Don't be advocate of this body or others body, or I have to do this, I have to do that. If things are happening, things happens on its own. Nobody does. But this ego thinks if it doesn't go to work, the work will not happen. Try it. Let's say you live like awareness. See, the body works on its own. And that is why important to see how people behave who know they are not body mind. Read their biographies, watch their actions. It looks exactly like what you do, but with a big difference. They watch their body mind as if they are watching a stranger. You go to Woolworth, the hand goes, looks into things. This is being need to be bought. It looks like robotic actions. The body does everything. It has intelligence. You don't have to own to do it. Have you traveled in car on autopilot? You reach from point A to B and you're not even thinking about driving, and there are traffic signals, and you do everything and you reach home. You don't even know what roads you have taken. How does that happen? Because at that moment your ego is not taking charge of it. Because you are drifted in some thoughts, or maybe you are just empty minded or whatever. It knows everything. It does things on its own. But that ego starts taking a charge and thinks that it is doing it. And that is the problem. When you think that you are doing the act, you become doership. And then you get your balance account is open and you have karmas, positive, negative. And then you have to pay the price for positive, negative, credit and discredit. And then game keeps going. So this doership is the biggest sin. Any work, even good, done as a doership is a sin, because it will add to your credit account. Unending karmas. In all the teachings, Bhagwan's teaching is the purest, because first time in my life I learned, when I came to Bhagwan, that karma is the foundation. Bhagavad Gita, Holy Gita, which most of us have read. The biggest misinterpretation of the Bhagavad Gita by 99.99% of people who have read is that Karma Yoga. And you know what they do? Make more money, Karma Yoga, do some charity, Karma Yoga. And what that Karma Yoga does to them? Bigger and bigger ego. Because Nishkam Karam is so difficult. Doership always comes when you have an ego. So what Krishna says, doing Nishkam Karam, non-doership, how it will happen when you have a big ego? How? Never ever. And that is why when I went to Bhagwan and he said karma is always bound, I was free at that moment. I'm telling you the secret. And all my life I was about karma yoga, karma, yes, do. It was all boosting ego. Because a person with an ego doing a good karma, what will happen? Ego will be bigger. How can you be a non-doer? Non-doer can only be a person without ego. And to be without ego is realization. This is the trap. So what Krishna says then? Surrender all the work. Think that you are doing a God's work. Then what it is? Surrender to God. Then it becomes devotional. All the actions done bind you. Take it this. They are not binding when you don't have an ego. And when you don't have an ego, then you're already free. If you want to live like awareness, then watch this body doing things. But don't take ownership of bad or good things. Now your mind can say, then how can I behave in society? And you always have to use mind to take right and wrong decisions. Very big trap, because we think that the body has no intelligence to do right and wrong. You have lost your intuitive power because you're so dependent. We are slave of this mind. We think we can't live without mind. And who are we who are living life with mind? That is also fake. Ego, which thinks that, oh, how can I do? I will say, why do you worry so much? This body is being given for, let's say, 100 years. If it drops now and if it can't work and you become like a vestigial organ like this and you can't move, let it be. When you are not this, why do you worry? The only reason we worry is because we always, all the time think we are this body-mind complex. I can keep telling you for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours, and you will say to me, yes, yes, we are not body mind. Internally, you're so attached to this body mind that this idea never drops. And this is the trap, whether you believe it or not. Even when you're listening to me, you're listening from the mind and behaving from your body. So whatever I'm saying can't even pierce you, can't even reach where I want it to reach, make it reach. I want it make it reach because that is my intention, my humble request to you. But you have created such a big barrier, like you have made your gatekeeper as your mind. And nothing can go in your heart. Even for quarter of a second, if you drop this mind, you are free right now. But who understands this? This understanding is not from the mind. I'll tell you again. If you try to understand all this from the mind, you can never reach there. Because there's nowhere to reach. You are always free. But you're not ready to drop the mind because you think that if you drop the mind, then all the power will be gone. This is a big delusion. Always remember that you are nothing but formless awareness, pure silence. None of the actions of the body mind, including sense organs, sensations, emotions, thoughts, ego, intellect, planning, all the limited knowledge you have gathered in this world is all useless for this awareness. We have only gathered garbage in form of our CV, our resume. It's all garbage. It's dust. Everything we have done is only for this body mind complex, given a nice name and a tag, and very happy with that. There is no problem with this name, tag, body, mind if you know that you are none of these. Right now, like you know your name, someone calls you even at the middle of the night, you jump out of the bed because you know this is your name. But for me to convince you what you truly are, it's so difficult. Because of our attachment with the mind, we never ever take out these binoculars in front of our eyes. We always look through the mind, everything mind, mind, mind. And I'm asking you, just drop it for a second, maybe for a quarter of a second. Because you don't have faith in these words. You're trying to search God with mind, which can never ever happen. Without mind, you are God. And with mind, you are ego. And choice is yours. You want to stay like an ego, like a body mind, it's up to you. Or if you want to drop it and just see what truly you are. And trust me, it's not difficult. Even if you start as fake and keep repeating in your mind or in your awareness that you're not the body mind, you know what will happen? A miracle will happen. Take this as a mantra. All the inflictions of the body mind will lose their effect on you. Whenever you get affected, see that I'm not this, why I'm worried. And this detachment, this awareness will make you aware so clearly that you're not the body mind. Nothing will affect you because it should not affect you. Actually, when it is affecting you, remember that you are still not awareness, you are ego. You're treating yourself as body mind. Someone criticizes you, someone says bad, or you feel joy when you have done something great. All this is ego, not you. You and awareness, who cares? Awareness is always the same. If you are the king of the world, who cares when you gain or not gain? And you know that gain, and we all know this very clearly, all the gains of this body will drop one day. What gain? It will go in dust. Always remember that you are formless awareness. And this body mind, which is always we see in the mirror, which you use, is just a vehicle. Nothing to do with you. It doesn't even belong to you, if you ask me honestly. It belongs to this materialistic world and it will dissolve in this materialistic world. Nashwar, transient, temporary. It's an object. You are not an object. You are never going to get destroyed. Nothing can destroy you. So behave like something which never get destroyed. Why you behave like, oh, this might happen to me, I need to do this, what will I do and what will happen to mortgage? All these ifs and buts and questions and anxiety and depression and worries comes to the ego. Remember, it can never come to awareness. So behave like awareness all the time. Because that's what you are. It can take maybe 1 second in some person, the other person it might take 1 year. But I can guarantee you, if you start working on it, no time you will be free. And I'll be very happy if I get a phone call or an email or a text. It's all finished forever. Pay all your attention to the awareness. Awareness has no name, no form, no emotions, no story, no present, no past, no future, no birth, no death, no relations. Just a pure observer. No one's friend, no one's enemy. No sex, no religion, no country. Any time in your life, in day to day, anything which makes you into a group, whether Ramana Maharshi's group, whether a Christian group, whether a Hindu group, remember the ego is still there. I'm talking about at that level, in the purity also. When you are awareness, you are everything. All the time, stay alert, stay as consciousness. Watch what the body is doing, where the hand is going. I'm not saying you have to be paranoid, but it comes, you will start feeling this gap between you as awareness and this body mind complex. And then because of old habits, sometimes you start owning this body mind. The ego will come and you can watch it and it will shy away. And then it might come back because of as an old habit or because something has happened which you strongly believe in. And then you watch it and it will drop. And in no time you will be free. I can guarantee you this. Listen to what I'm saying and keep listening to it again and again whenever you are in doubt. This is the easiest, simplest path. Nothing can be as straight and clear. The Guru is yourself. All the gurus outside, teachers outside, books outside, they are only help to know that self which you are. So the real Guru is within you. That is your number one Guru. That is you only. So come back home. I think you have gone through all those things. You have had joys and sorrows, roller coaster. Leave this game now. I think enough of drama which we have done. And I'll tell you, the day you are free, you will slap yourself because you will say, this was so easy and I was always trapped in the mind. Because it is the truth and it is so simple. It is just that you have to work hard. You have to practice and keep practicing and keep practicing. But this practice is not for 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. You wake up in the morning and keep quiet inside and watch the body, mind doing whatever. Pass the whole day like that, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. In no time you will be free. But your interest should be on awareness rather than your mind, not in the gossip of the mind. I know as old habits, all that stuff will come back, whatever you are interested in. But because you are paying attention to awareness, it will lose its potency, its attachment. Believe me, it's not that difficult. Otherwise, look why we are doing this satsang and sitting and doing, you can still enjoy life and watch a movie or, have some time with your family and all those things which this mind body loves to do. Even if not loves to do, at least then it's just a waste of time if you do half-heartedly. Then you can't travel in 2 boats. You have to take 1 boat. Maybe finish off this, know that you are awareness, and then go back and do whatever you want to do. And I'll tell you, you will love life more. The adults, sometimes they play with kids, little kids, they behave like kids. And what the kids think, they also think that he is like me, a bit dumb or doesn't know, and they, mix up. And what the adult is thinking, that I'm just playing with them. So he never takes anything seriously. And that non-seriousness can come, and that playfulness can come, and innocence can come when you're not serious about this body mind, which is completely fake. Fake, in a sense, it's transient. It has come into play for a very short time. But if you get attached to it, then it will take you forever in a birth and death cycle. Don't get into this trap. It's an endless birth and death cycle with different types of bodies. Now, with the grace of God, we are all born as human beings and we have an intellect and mind to understand this. And I think for a good level, we understand it very nicely. The only thing is now we need to put more into practice. And the practice is to stay like awareness. And this is the path of knowledge where it starts where it has to end. That's why it looks a bit tough also. In devotional path, you say one God and you are this and you are doing bhakti and one day it will happen. Or yoga, you start with the body and you start with mind. You do breathing exercises, you go up and down, and then you get siddhis and more obstacles. If you see, if you see even Bhagavad Gita, they have he has put path of knowledge as the first. Though he talks about everything, it's like an encyclopedia. And you see, Bhagwan took out 42 verses out of it, all about Jnana Yoga. How to be free like this. And if you see Bhagavad Gita, this was, he said all these things in battlefield, where he wanted Arjuna to understand like this. He didn't say that you should do Patanjali Yoga Sutras, first do Niyamas, then do Asanas. He didn't tell him that. Otherwise, Arjun would have thought, what type of a friend you are, How much time I have? I have to fight this war. Tell me quick. And the quickest way is the path of knowledge. You start where you have to end. Be awareness all the time. We will share this audio as raw like this is because this is so important. If you want to pray to God, just pray one thing, that I remember you all the time. And this remembrance Om Shanti Shanti